just like that. Alright, would you like a water or anything, love?
No, I got yours here.
I guess I'll get another one. Alright, so what we did yesterday was we started having you work through your algorithms. And I know it's frustrating. I know it was difficult. But I gave you some homework.
We should not focus on
oh my goodness! What happens, baby, when you don't get your homework done? You fail the class.
Usually class isn't right after each other, and on top of that, when something is given as homework, it's not due the next day.
Look, baby, I'm hearing a lot of excuses.
And on top of it, it's my birthday.
Yes, it is.
And I've been with you all day, so when did you think that I worked on it? While I was at the gym?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not my homework. Oh, it's your homework. Here, I'll let everybody know that it's your birthday, so they can come in here and wish you a happy birthday.
No, it's okay. You don't have to do that. I was off by a day. I thought it was day 19.
We're day 20 today.
I know, but I was off. My feet have been killing me all day. Ugh.
So I'm responding back to an email real quick for a mentoring session, then we'll get started here. All right, cool. Neil, welcome. All right, so I'll lower this so we can sit if you'd like. But we're going to continue on reviewing topics and subject matters. And so give me that stretch now, please. All right, so happy birthday, baby. And now, as your present, we're doing some review. There we go. So you're not as orange. So, let's start with what we did yesterday.
Okay.
What does a variable do?
Stores a value.
How do we define a variable?
With a name.
So, say it out loud. What would we have the keyword?
Val. Var.
Var, yes.
Var.
We have, what's next?
The name.
All right, and what's next?
Apprentice.
Why don't you draw it out? Create a variable with any value you want right now. So we're going to review. No.
What?
You're good on the camel case, but remember, we're assigning a value with a variable. So we have to use the assignment operator. No, that's fine right there. This is where you're fucking up.
Wait. Yeah.
Yep. Good. And how do we end that? Well, perfect. So you've created a variable and you set it equals 0. What type is that?
What?
what is the type of this variable happy birthday? The variable type.
Number.
Alright, name the other types.
String.
Okay. What's a string?
String. It's a sentence.
Speak up a little louder so people can hear you.
This is a sentence.
Okay. And
Boolean.
which is what?
Typically true or false.
Alright.
And
The list one, what do we call that?
array.
Alright, and then you have what is the other one that you're struggling with still? Starts with a O?
Object.
Good. Alright. So we reviewed that. Now draw an if statement, an example if statement.
What's that?
Draw an example if statement. Use your variable as well. No? Alright, so you're still misunderstanding what if statements are. So let's break it down one more time. So, we are comparing things in here. We're not assigning things.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna compare it. I was gonna say.
You can't create a new variable and compare it in there.
I wasn't trying to. I just don't know how to write it still.
Okay.
I was gonna say if 0 is less than 5.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say, but then you said use variable.
Use your variable you created. Start. So
Yeah, but
use it.
I don't know what that looks like.
It's just putting happy birthday is less than 5.
That's what I was gonna do.
No, you put var.
Yeah.
Start with var nuts.
But I was gonna put
No,
var
that
happy birthday.
that creates a new variable.
Okay, well I forgot.
Okay. Orlando, she's learning JavaScript. I'm trying to teach her web development. We're in the JavaScript section now. Okay. Cool. And finish it. All right. What else? No. That's
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember.
all right. So, what does this statement of the if statement evaluate to?
If 0 is less than 5.
Good. Oops, not what I meant to do. So, stop paying attention, chat.
I wanted to see him happy birthday.
Yeah, everyone's wishing you a happy birthday. They're very happy for you. The green screen was dope. Yeah, I'll get better at it. Once we move, I'm going to paint the wall of the office.
He means I'm going to paint the wall of the office.
Someone's painting the wall of the office. And then I'll have my lighting situation set up. Right now I just have a sheet over the window, which is, the lighting's pretty crucial with the green screen. But anyhow, okay, so what does this evaluate to? Remember, our if statement's returning if it's true or false. It
Right.
runs. So what is that statement returning to?
It's saying true.
Okay, because 0 is less than 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how would we add an else if statement? What is an else if? Let's start there.
Else if is if the if statement is false.
The else if only runs if the if statement is false. Correct. So write else if statement. You want to start a coding channel for your coding career journey? I have a a policy I've enacted that once you hit 1,000 subscribers, I will interview you and put you on the channel if you're interested. The reason it's 1,000 and not anything else is I think you have to kind of respect the grind a little bit to get there. So if you do start at James, you get your first 1,000 subscribers, I'd be happy to interview you, and hopefully you'll gain some subs that way as well. So what do you want to put in that, Elsif?
I don't know.
A statement of some sort. So why don't you write a statement using happy birthday that evaluates the false. So use your variable, and no. We can, don't change that. Reassign the value of happy birthday. No. Don't touch this line. Reassign the value in a different line. Okay, go ahead.
Reassign the value.
Yes, so in this case, for happy birthday to fail, what is the lowest value that happy birthday could be?
5.
Good. So make happy birthday 5. Don't look at me, just write it. I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
Yeah, alright. I forget
Okay.
how to write it. I just.
So just write what you think. Don't. I'll tell you if you're wrong, and then I'll tell you how to do it right. Don't say I forget. Write it out. And don't think that you're the only one that gets embarrassed doing this. I just had 20, 30 people watching me struggle with an algorithm I should have solved. And once I got off the channel and I looked at the picture that went with it, I was able to break it down mathematically because I started drawing it out. So everyone struggles. So how do we reassign the value of a variable that we've already created?
I forget.
Okay. So, shame. And teacher gets the red marker, as is the case. All right. So, when we want to, you're on the right way. So when we have the var keyword, it creates a variable. We create the variable happy birthday, and we assign the value 0. So the only thing that we have to do to reassign the value after the fact is get rid of the var keyword. This creates it. This creates a new variable called happy birthday. Happy birthday already exists, so we don't need var. But we don't want it to be 0, but I don't want you to change this line of code. So assign the value 5. Remember, this is the assignment operator. Happy birthday equals 5.
I thought you had to call it or
You're thinking of functions.
Oh, shoot.
Alright, so don't forget your semicolon. Alright, so happy birthday, and we're going to, just for sake of simplicity, it goes between these two lines. Okay? So, line 1, line 2, line 3. And then we'll have a line of 4, a line of 5, and a line of 6. We'll say this is line 7. Okay? Our code runs in order, top to bottom. So, what's going on here is happy birthday starts off at 0. The next line of code runs. What happens? So let's go with line 1. What happens?
Happy birthday equals 0.
Okay, cool. Line 2.
Happy birthday now equals 5.
All right, line 3.
If happy birthday is less than 5,
Run this code. What does happy birthday evaluate to?
False.
Because?
5 is not less than 5.
Good. So what happens next in our else if? Here. We have to write a statement. Now, write a statement where happy birthday is false. We're using happy birthday, write a statement to evaluate to false.
Again?
Yeah, in our else if this time. We're reviewing. We're trying to get you back to where you were yesterday. It's gonna till these things start to stick. By the way, I can't believe it's fucking 7 o'clock.
Right?
Got a mentoring thing at 7. Okay, so this says,
You're mentoring at 7?
or excuse me, 8:30.
I was gonna say
So-
it's 7.
8 and 9. Okay, so else if happy birthday is less than 5, what does this evaluate to?
False.
Because,
Happy birthday is now 5, and 5 isn't greater than 5.
good. Now write an else statement. Michael Obeng, welcome, my friend. Nope. What does an else statement do?
Stops the code?
No. What does an else statement do? If evaluates a statement, else if evaluates a statement if it's associated if it fails. Else,
Is a statement.
no. Else doesn't even have a statement. Else runs if everything fails. Else is what runs when all the if and else ifs fail.
Okay.
Because it always runs, there is no statement. All there is the brackets. Make sense?
Yeah.
Alright, write a bracket. So, we're going to do a test based off of what we have here. In here, we return 1. In here, we return 2. In here, we return 3. Alright? What's return do again?
Stops the loop.
It stops the entire function and it returns a value. So this is in a function. Imagine this is in a function.
Okay.
If it hits this, it'd return 1 and it would stop. It would return that value. It'd exit out the function. Alright, cool. So I'm going to give you 5 cases here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in this case, I'm going to give you 5, 3, 6, 11, and 0. Cool. So, look at our code here. If happy birthday is now 3, what does it return?
1.
Cool. If happy birthday is now 6, what does it return?
2.
Good. If happy birthday is 11, what does it return?
2.
Good. If happy birthday is 5, what does it return?
3.
Good. Don't be confused about that. I heard you being confused and not confident in your answer there.
Because I was going to say 2, but then I had to remind myself.
Good. If happy birthday is 0, what does it return?
1.
Good. Alright, so we reviewed variables, for loops, if statements, else if. And now we're going to review for loops one more time. Any questions?
Oh.
Alright, for loop. How do we create variables?
Not like this.
We just did it. You have a keyword, you have a name, you have an assignment.
Yeah, but not in here.
You're creating a variable there.
Yeah.
You didn't do it correctly. Try again. Keyword, name, assignment, value. End of key end it with semicolon. How do we create a variable? We're creating, and what are we creating? We have 3 parts, right? First part, we're creating the value of our iterator.
Which is var.
Well, using a variable, yes, with var. Second part, we're creating the statement in which we say how many times. What's a for loop do before I say anything?
It runs the test 4 times.
4 times?
Or indefinitely, depending on the test.
It runs how many ever times it needs to run.
Oh.
Based off of the statement.
I thought it just ran 4 times.
No, it doesn't run 4 times.
Why is it called a for loop?
It's not. It's FOR. It's not fucking FOUR, okay? Oh, man. So, Incredibly Gay asks a unrelated question, but this will be funny. So I'll answer it. What's the best username you've ever seen? It was my username. I'll tell you right now. Back when people actually used AOL Instant Messenger, or AIM as the kids would call it, my username, and this was also my gaming tag for a while, was Rancid Ass Gasses. That was what, at like 9 years old, like probably 15.
Or Panty Pirate.
Ned Flanders, if you hang around for about 20 more minutes, man, I'll answer questions at then. That's a long answer. I'd love to give you some great advice instead of shortchanging with a 20-second answer. Get back to this. All right, so create a variable.
So var doesn't go in here.
No, it does. You just keyword, name, assignment operator, value.
Oh,
have I used Safari's books online? My coworkers used to use them. I have not. Now, I'm going to ask you a simple question here, baby. How does hi keep track of how many times we've done this loop?
so you can only use numbers?
If I say hi, and I ask you how many that is,
I'd say 2.
and you'd be fucking wrong, because it's hi. That's all it is. Okay. So, yes. And all. So, in this case, typically you'll initialize it to 0. So go ahead and start off with 0.
Why?
Why? 1 part, 2 part, 3 part of the for loop. What is this first part? There's 2 more parts in here. And what are you forgetting? All right. Cool. How many times do we want to run our for loop?
We don't know.
In this case, we do. You can't.
You can't just tell me. Forget the hard code.
Okay. Var my array equals an array. What's more? 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to run it for the length of that array. So set up the statement for that. Yeah, in the spirit of happy birthday, I take it back. In the spirit of...
No, I want that one.
You want this one? You don't want us to put your age in there? Run it for the length of your age?
Hilarious. I don't care.
We're going over JavaScript. Trying to get this to click. Okay, so that's good. So that gives us back the length of the arrays, but we have to turn that into a statement that evaluates the true or false.
I know, I forgot how that works.
You can use a less than, greater than, double equals, triple equals.
What?
Comparison operators, what are they?
Greater than, less than, equal.
Greater than, less than. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Equal.
Assignment operator.
Equal.
Oh, equal, alright.
Greater equal than, lesser equal than.
Triple equals.
Triple equal.
Not equals. Not equals. And then there's a ternary operator, but I won't get into that yet.
Great.
Did she go through Codecademy Intro to JS? Have you done that yet?
Nope.
She's done the JavaScript section on Free Code Camp. I've gone through that with her. You should do that because you're not getting this in our tutoring sessions.
Nope.
So.
Well, I'm gonna start back into my JS.
Okay. Do Codecademy. It's easier. You need it easier. There you go, baby. Talented woman picking that up. Alright, so let me show you an example of a for loop. Because clearly you don't remember this, even though we did it yesterday and the day before. So we're assigning our iterator here. Typically, happy birthday is way too long of a name because we're going to use that as our index to get our indexes. So what we would do normally is call it I. Doesn't have to be called I, but I is iterator. That's what it is. But you could even call it X if you wanted. Whatever you want to call it. But usually it'll be one letter to represent the index for this array in this case. So we're going to have a variable I. Because we want all the values, the reason we're starting I here is because the first index is 0. So we can't iterate through everything if we start off at 2, right? What's the index of 1?
0.
What's the index of 4?
3.
Good. So here, our I is equal to 0. Okay. The next thing that we want to do is we said that we want to, at some point, we don't know what we're doing, but we want to, let's say, add all the values together. To do that, we have to run through the array. So one simple way, oh, this is too hard to do upside down. One simple way is to say, hey, I is less than, now what do we know about arrays? How can we get the length of the array?
Dollar.
Good. So we're using the function that's built in.
Why would you use the less than?
So, because we're creating a statement. Remember our if statements? What happens is we are saying, hey, while this is true, this is like in our if statement as if it was like this, okay? Just that part. And what we're saying is, while this is true, continue running the code that's in our for loop.
Mm-hmm.
Once it is false, exit out of the for loop and move on. Okay? So we set up our iterator, part 1. We define the statement for when the loop runs and when it breaks. And then we set, in our third part here, we set every time the loop runs, how do we increment our iterator?
I plus plus.
Now, what does I plus plus do?
It adds 1.
Adds 1 to
The I.
I. Good. So I plus plus adds 1. And now we've set up our for loop. So if I want to add all these numbers together, how do I access them and add them together? We did this yesterday.
I don't think we finished it though.
Yes, we did. This one? Actually, no. I did a function. So I'll solve this for you just to show you. You're right. So we would create a variable outside of the for loop called total. In this case, we can set it to 0. The reason we create it out of the for loop is because we are going to, in the for loop, say total plus equals my array. Now, mind you, remember, we're starting, this is basically the iteration of the loop we're on, which also corresponds with the amount of elements in the start of the index. And if we increase by 1, we will hit every element in the array. So this I is less than my array.length is a typical way of setting up a for loop. It doesn't have to be that way though. All we're doing is setting a statement here to evaluate. Now, here, and this is, remember I was saying your happy birthday was too long? All we need to do here, my array. Cool. And then outside of here we return total. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is I want you to, just right below here, write down the value of total in each iteration. So we'll have the first, second, third, fourth. So on the first for loop, what is I, and what is the value of total at that point? So that's I? Is that what you're saying? Alright, so here we'll have I. Here we'll have total. What's the value of total after it gets past this line here? Let's go. What's total?
I don't know what this does.
Well, what's plus equals to? Do you remember?
It adds.
It adds.
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. So total is equal to total plus 1. Oh, excuse me. Plus this value here, my array. So that plus equals, all it's doing is assuming that you're adding to total. Otherwise, it would reset the value every time.
So it's all those numbers together?
Yes. So what happens, but I want you to write down in order how it's going. So on the first, we're index 0, first iteration. What is I? 0. Now we're adding the value of total plus whatever the index that we're on. So when I say my array is 0, what's the value?
0.
What's total?
0.
What's total plus index 0?
1.
Okay. Next iteration. So that's index 1, right? Because we added 1 with our I++. Mm-hmm. Now we're on index 1, So we're saying total is equal, plus equals to my array.
So I is now 1, which enters into 2.
And so what's total?
So 2 plus 1, 3.
Yeah. Plus 4.
What?
That's a 4.
Where do you get the 5 plus 4?
Let's try this. You're almost there. So what's on the final iteration, which is 3, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the last one. That's our last I plus plus. What's the length of my array? What's the length of it?
4.
Okay. So 3 is less than 4. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the value of I on that third iteration? Value of I.
3.
Okay. Let's write it down. Now, what is my array 3?
4.
And what is total plus equals my array index 3?
4.
What is total?
0.
No. What is, because remember total has changed. Total on 0 iteration, it was 1, because we added 1. Started off 0. Total on the second run, or index 1, is now 3 because.
Okay, but what?
So when we have, what is total on our on our?
It's 5, but how are we getting these again?
So total. We add it, baby. So total. What's plus equals do? What does plus equals do?
No, I'll say the meaning again.
That defeats the question. Alright,
well,
so
I don't remember.
total is saying, so this is equivalent to what I'm about to write right now. Okay? So total is equal to total, in this case, plus my array I. So when we say plus equals, what we do is we eliminate this extra bit of code here. And it's just the same as plus equals. Good. Alright, so what we're going to have you do is we are going to what do we want to do? Alright. Do you remember how to create a function?
I'm sorry, I'm uncomfortable.
It's okay, baby. Alright, So let's review what we've talked about already. How do we create a variable, and what does a variable do? Draw it. Start drawing it out. Writing it out.
Can you give me a name?
Num1. Okay. Cool. So we created a variable. Now, what types of variables are they?
There's string number. I suppose.
It's BOO. Excuse me. BOOLEAN. One second, I'm trying to.
String number boolean.
Well, these fools are out here on the fucking futon, baby. Love them. They're like, Daddy, we got a couch back again. Alright, so those are the main ones. Good. Write an if statement. What does an if statement do? What does it evaluate?
A statement for whether it's true or false.
Good. So give us an example of one. Nope, no semicolon there. You don't have semicolons in statements like that. There's no need to. So what we're doing is we're nesting this in here. We're saying, hey, this is kind of like a container. And you only need to put a semicolon if everything. The reason we put a semicolon here is because there's an if statement or there's something below it. There's already it's not contained.
It's not contained.
Here it's contained, no semicolon. Okay, what else do we have? And so why do we put those curly braces?
Because they hold our
They provide, do you remember scope?
scope.
They provide scope for what's supposed to run only when this evaluates the true. Okay? Good. So what is, I won't have you write this out, but what does an else if do?
It runs if a if statement is false.
Okay. And what's an else do?
It runs if everything else is false.
Good. All right. Now, set up a for loop.
I don't want to.
I'm sorry?
I don't want to. I don't remember.
We just did this.
I know.
Okay, that's fine.
But I'm sorry. I don't functional understand.
It's alright, baby. Just do your best. I just want you to. No pressure. You just gotta do your best. So you know that you start with what?
Case brackets.
Alright, every time you mess up, this is what happens now.
Shane. Shane.
Yeah. You know, if I could go back and look at pictures or notes or whatever, then this wouldn't be so fucking
Oh, it's all right though, baby.
stupid.
So here, I'll help you. You don't use curly braces. You use parentheses. So what do you do next?
Let's give it a variable.
Why do we give it a variable?
Because it's checking the statement.
We give it a variable to keep track of the iterations, and we also use it in the statement. We can. We don't have to, but we do. So create that variable. Okay, and what do we... Alright, so if I want my loop to run 5 times, and I'm going to increase num1 by 1 every time, how would I do that? Okay, so good. And then we would what? We'd close it up, right? And what else would we have? Good. So you're retaining it. I'm only shaved once. Just having some fun, baby. The reason that I'm being hard with you is because the only way that you'll ever be able to actually use this stuff is if you retain it. And so this is the stuff you have to retain. A lot of stuff you don't. So we got to make it second nature, which is why there's no cheat sheets, which is why we are doing this, even though we did it the day before and the day before. Not a big deal. All right? All right, so let's review functions before we move on and answer questions. You're good. Happy birthday, baby. I'll go get it. Okay, so what do functions do again? They what?
They run continuously till they reach like a.
So alright, so I'm gonna stop you. So a function runs a set amount of code once we call it. Alright, so we define a function with the keyword function, and then we name the function. What do you want the name to be? Happy B-Day. How about that? And then we, within our curly braces, this is our scope where the code runs. In here, we have parameters sometimes. It doesn't have to have it. So what we do,
What is that?
parameter,
Yeah, but what's in it? What does it say?
oh, it's supposed to say date.
Oh.
I type, I don't write for a living, alright? So the way that we call functions is simply by calling the name. And then if we have a date, we'll just put 1. So we define our function, kind of like a variable to a degree. is we define something. And in here we have all our code, our for loops, our if statements, our variables, all that sort of stuff, right? Just like when we created the add to number function the other day. And what happens is, we take in our argument, which connects to this parameter, right? And we call it, and then let's say it returns, in this case, happy birthday. And the return statement breaks us out of the scope of here. Now we can actually, you don't always have to have a return, but it'll just run for the whole function and then move on.
No. Can you put breaks in here?
Yes. So say we have a for loop, we could use the break to break out the for loop, or to break out the function, I guess. I never thought about it like that, but you probably could. So moving forward, because you need more practice still, you need to, I'll let you bring your cheat sheet tomorrow, and I'd like for you to, I guess,
have a cheat sheet.
make a cheat sheet. Would you like me to get you one?
Give me one.
Yeah. There's resources online that have like cheat sheets. Cheatography is a great website for that. But we're going to have you jump into Codecademy, and I'll show you the section I want you to review. Is in here in Codecademy. There's Learn JavaScript. I think there's a basic one. That is the basic one. Alright, so there's JavaScript, ignore that one. What you want to do is learn JavaScript on Codecademy.
Okay.
Okay? So this course is, do they give an estimated time? I haven't completed, so I don't think they do.
No, they don't show it to you once you start it.
Okay, you can probably get through.
I think it's like 10 hours.
Yeah, you can probably do that tomorrow. Do half of it tomorrow. Because we've gone over some of this stuff. Alright, let's answer some questions and ignore the trolls.
What about that first question you got about work?
Let's jump to the top here. Let me move this down so I can sit. So I'm a tired old man. Alright, so
Put the Code Academy link.
Code Academy. Okay, I'll throw it up there.
Is this astrophysics? Feels like it. Jesus.
It's all new. Don't sweat it. Alright, so somebody asked a question way back, and I don't remember what it was, but it was a good question. So if you're still here, if you wouldn't mind re-asking the question.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to laughing. Here, this is it.
Alright, I'm working my way down. Yeah, 20 days of coding. Congrats, not breaking up yet. There are going to be rough parts of coding, and there are going to be easy parts of coding. And the hardest part is consistency. And it will click one day. So James Scott says, long-time watcher, I'm starting my unpaid internship today. Nervous as hell, as I've never worked in an office environment. Any idea what they might have me do? Could you tell me more about the role? And I could tell you what type of company it is, and I could give you a better idea. 1 second, I gotta ban this guy. He's being rude. But yeah, James, give me a little bit more detail, and I'd love to answer. What's going on?
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, you copy and pasted.
I like that. They have like a hackathon challenge.
It's not a bad idea. It just depends. Once I get it going. Yeah, Nerd Flanders is gone, huh?
Yeah, Dexter's Laboratory. These actually are the less Dexter Laboratory ones. He's had ones that are full on like square.
No need to talk about that guy, baby. That guy's a trash can of a person. But yeah, he's also banned. So, let's go ahead and mod some people in Twitch. We're gonna have /mod Joshua _Jarrett. There you go, Josh. You're now a mod. Anybody else want a mod while we're at it on Twitch? A smoker pot. No, it's the essential oil diffuser, man. Okay, baby. So, I think what we can do right now is let's put chat away for a second. Let's talk. About oops. So let's talk about frustration, because today was a frustrating day for you. What was frustrating about it for you?
I can't. I can't recall things too well.
Okay. Understandable. Now, why do you think that is?
Because I don't remember them.
Okay. Is it because it's new? Is it because we haven't been doing it enough? Is it because you didn't have a chance to study beforehand?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So, what can we do to make it less frustrating moving forward? Because I told you we're going to kick it up a notch, right? Which we're no longer doing tutorials. We're actually applying stuff and we're using stuff. And, I worked through it before to kind of give you an idea of what to expect. So, do you want to, in the future, what we can do is you can do Codecademy and work through it and ask me questions, and I'll be here for support.
No, I like what we're doing. It's just hard because I don't know what we're going over, so I don't have anything to review off of.
Okay.
And if we're not going to go off of something that's already pre-planned out, like if we went over our Java's, free code camp and then you asked me to go do it and then come back and explain it, at least I'd have something to work off of.
We did go over the JavaScript, though, a free code camp. And everything we touched was in there.
Yeah, but, we didn't touch on it, then go to the whiteboard and apply it. We went over everything, and now we're applying it all, and I don't...
Okay, so this is what I think we should change in our process. Is I think that we should no longer wait for you to study after our things, and you should make a conscious effort to do the Codecademy section.
Yeah.
And we'll say 2 sections a day for Codecademy. Okay, so on Codecademy, what I want you to do is I want you to, by 6 p.m., by the time I get home from work, okay, you need to have finished Introduction to JavaScript, Variables, Control Flow. This is what you need to get done. 3 sections. Okay?
Okay.
And then what we'll do, tomorrow we'll review that, and that's going to be similar to what we talked about today. Take whatever notes you want. I will print you out a couple cheat sheets at work. We'll do a little research, print you out some, so you can look at them to refresh your memory. And then we will continue on from there. Okay? Told you it was going to be hard, baby.
I'm not saying that it's not.
I know.
I'm not giving up because it's hard. I'm allowed to be flustered.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm flustered every day. Takes some getting used to.
It's not what? What is getting used to? No, it's just I gotta learn it. That's it.
Yeah. I think the main difference here is this could be semantics. Is you don't necessarily have to learn it. You have to understand it. Because that sounds like some bullshit your parents would say. It's like, I'm disappointed in you, sort of thing. Like, it's kind of the same sort of stuff, but there is a difference. Is you learn
I understand the
how to
logic,
set up a variable,
but I don't recall how to set up a function, or I don't recall what symbols are what symbols, because I simply don't know the vocabulary. I know how to apply the vocabulary, at least from where I'm standing. In my head, I understand what you're saying to me when you're explaining the logic out to me.
Okay.
But I can't write it because I don't remember what I need to use to write it.
Okay.
I don't remember my words, basically.
Okay, so I will have cheat sheets for you tomorrow. And you can use those cheat sheets while we do the stuff.
Well, you just look like you don't believe me.
I believe that you believe what you're saying is true.
So
but I know that you're incorrect, though. Because
know.
Yes. From the last hour I spent with you, I know that what you believe. I believe you believe what you're saying is 100% true. But having watched you, even as every time when I go, I break it up in parts. Because you're saying you understand
Not all of the parts, yeah, no. But like but we start out.
You understand that variables are a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. You can recognize that we've said var at this point. And that's not That's not me.
No, I wouldn't know how to apply a functional to work if you asked me to do something. No. But how the function works within itself, I get that.
Okay. Well, we're gonna continue hammering away, but we'll try to.
Just don't hammer away to a point where you're.
So you don't think I should play
upset with me?
I'm not upset. I.
Or frustrated with me, because you keep telling me it's okay. You're not gonna be good at it. You're not gonna be good at it. Where am I supposed to be at 20 days?
I don't know. That's,
so your expectations are what? Too high? Too low for how we're going with this?
No. Do you feel better now? All right, baby. I think you're doing great. I think the hardest part, as I've said from day one, is showing up every day and doing it. All right? We've been showing up and we've been going through it, whether you want to or not, whether I want to or not. We're 1/5 the way there. Imagine 4 times this, 80 more days of this. Imagine where you'll be. Okay? So, all right. So
yeah, I'll fucking know how to write a var.
So what are we doing? What is your task by the time I get home tomorrow?
To go over the 3 first sections of the learning JavaScript.
Good. All right. So let's see. My chat went full crazy. Let's see if I can pull up chat real quick. See what everybody has to say. If there's any questions, if not, we will. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so it's going to be this is the thing, baby, is I'm always going to push you farther than you are capable of.
Then I'm just gonna cry a lot.
That's okay. I cried all the time in college. But the reason for it is not because I'm a big meanie. It's because you have to. The way that I'm a true believer of the way that you learn code is like the way that you've been taught to learn so far is like, say this is the line, and you push and you push and you push and you push, and it's a steady gradual thing. The way that I believe most people learn code is you make this jump and you skip a whole bunch of shit. And what happens is that you make that jump and you learn the overarching concept, and then you jump backwards.
That's because you fall like 5 steps back.
And you jump backwards. And you jump backwards.
So you like working backwards.
No. I think maybe this is the thing is
You're right, James.
Take some deep breaths. You want to scream? We can scream together.
No, if I scream, I'm just gonna cry.
No crying. This is so I'm always going to be pushing you forward as well as myself, and
thing is James, I don't get angry anymore.
I beg to differ.
I try not to get angry anymore. I get angry?
No. We all get angry. We get frustrated.
I get frustrated more than I get angry. I just come from an angry family, and I don't want to perpetuate that in my life.
You did good, baby. All right, guys. This was one of those days where we pushed the envelope a little bit, and we did some review, trying to make it stick. We're gonna change up our pattern, and I want. Oh, baby. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to push you too far. So, so when learning to code, guys, there are going to be those frustrating moments where it's overwhelming, and this goes for life in general, where you're gonna have those days where you don't want to keep going and you don't want to push through it, which is why we do an hour a day. And even though today was a rough day, we'll be back tomorrow. Right? See?
That's the plan.
Yeah. So,
Sorry.
So we're gonna continue pushing forward. We're gonna try a different process. Maybe perhaps we're not ready to jump out of the online tutorials. It's been a long time since I learned my very first programming language, so I may be a little out of tune about what is capable in 20 days.
Just put yourself in the data science of the marathon or hackathon. That's what it feels like.
I know exactly what it feels like. I know what you're feeling right now, which is why we're gonna continue.
And you left. I'm still here.
Yeah. We'll be back. You did good, baby. You did good. Trust me. Every developer in here will tell you that there's frustration is part of the job sometimes.
Thank you.
So.
Fake.
This is how I feel every time I would take a technical interview, by the way. This is exactly how I would feel. I would die on the inside, and I would look at myself and just say, am I really this dumb? Am I really this bad? Am I good enough to do this? And I'd take the test, I'd fail it, or I'd do good, and I'd pass it, but I kept trying, kept working. Here we are, living a better life because of it. So, there are those days. I mean, you've been there with me. Been, 6 years now? Those good days and those bad days. So, so when I played that shame, that was supposed to be funny. And I don't think you found it funny.
That didn't bother me.
No? Okay, so just for the record, I was trying to make a joke.
Yeah, I get his humor, everyone. His humor, he's whatever. You can tell when it bothers me because I'll start snapping at him. And when I start snapping, it means I've hit my limit of his humor. But when I don't say anything, it's not bothering me. So that didn't bother me. My own.
It's overwhelming. I get it. That's all. But, and I'll say it again, the hardest part is to continue going. And as long as we do that, we'll get to our destination, one step forward. So, like, you may think that, like, hey, I didn't retain anything, but you retained more today than you did yesterday.
I know. I felt it.
Good. All right, baby. Think funny movie and cuddles.
Netflix and cuddle.
Yeah. I have a mentoring session that I have to do. It's a quick 30-minute one. I normally only do an hour, but I said I'd do 30 minutes. And then I'm going to go buy a birthday cake or something like that.
I bought my own birthday cake.
Yeah, I was going to surprise her with the birthday cake today, and it got so late, and she bought her own birthday cake, and here we are. All of a sudden, it went from birthday cake to I'm making you cry. Oh, no. It's not how it's supposed to go on birthdays. It is April's birthday today. What did I major in college? So Michael Obeng, I was majoring in computer science, and I dropped out towards the end of my junior year. So, I majored in CS. I dropped out about a year and a half ago. I took a job at a student information systems company where I did technical documentation, videos, and I was there for about 9 months. And the whole time I was there, I was learning web development. And after that, I went and I got my salaried developer position, and I've been there about 8 months. And I've just been improving my skill set as a self-taught developer ever since. So.
Thank you guys for all the birthday wishes and humor.
Why did I drop out? The short answer was because I felt like I had to. I was sick of being poor all the time. I was sick of not being able to buy food and little things like socks and underwear. And the same way that April is feeling right now was how I was feeling on a daily basis with school. I didn't feel like I was learning a lot of practical skills.
School was pretty torturous for him. And to be honest, just watching him, he's so much better at self-teaching than, him going to school. So I really do support his decision and what he wanted to do.
But yeah, so I just tried to teach myself, and I made the decision to take a job at the software company I'd been applying. I said, look, if I get a job where I think I can work myself into a developer position, I'll drop out. I did that. And now here we are, doing very well for myself. I'm at a great company, and getting recruiters reaching out frequently, and continue my skill set. So that was a year and a half ago. About that, yeah. I'd have to look it up exactly. I think we might be a year and 9 months.
What?
When I dropped out and started working.
Really? A year and a half ago?
I think it was a year and 9 months ago. It wasn't that long ago.
Really?
Yeah. Because I've been at my current job maybe 8 months. No, October will be 7 months, and then I worked 10 months at the old job, so about a year and a half. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, why is there so much smoke? It's the essential oil diffuser. It says right above it.
You missed a couple good questions.
Yeah. So, what is one thing you would tell yourself when you're starting out? Well, how far back in time are we going? I would tell myself that if we're saying, hey, right when I start school, I'd tell myself never to go. I've done so much more on my own than that school has ever given me, and I'm lucky enough to have had somebody pay for school. Between that and I didn't have to take out any loans. So I'm lucky in that fashion. If I had $20,000-$30,000 in loans, I probably would have had to finish, and I don't know where I'd be, man. I probably would have fallen apart, to be honest with you, because I was already starting to fall apart. And so, if I could tell myself one thing, it would be that I could be a better developer than college could ever make me, just by doing my own thing. If I had those 4 years of school back that I was in, I could definitely do so much more. I'd probably join into a boot camp and try to start working and do exactly what I did, which I got an internship, I got a job, and then I transferred into a full stack salaried role and continue my education like I am now in various ways. That would be what I would tell myself when I was starting out. Now, let's say avoiding all that, what would I do? I would just tell myself to look for more internships. That'd be it. I really think the hardest thing to get is resume experience. And I think that the hardest thing for you to get, especially as a developer without a degree, right? So I'm in the category where I don't have a degree. I just have a job because I'm good at my job. So that's it, right? And I've proven that I have the skills. And to get there, I had to take, an internship that was 2 hours away for $12 an hour. Then I freelance Then I had to drop out of school. Then I had to, and mind you, the whole time I'm self-teaching as well. My YouTube channel started almost 2 years ago. Exactly. I know that because in 10 days I'm supposed to film my 2-year analytics video. But 2 years ago I started my learning path, of which I said, hey, I need to become a better developer. And I was still in school for about the last 5 or 6 months of that. And I started my YouTube channel. And so my channel started with the goal of getting me a job. I said to myself I was going to get a relevant job, and once I did, I was going to drop out. And until I got a relevant job, I wasn't going to drop out. Once I did, it was about 5-6 months after I started my channel. I was freelancing, and I accepted the role where I was doing technical documentation, and I wasn't getting paid the best of money, but I wasn't getting paid the worst of money. And I started doing wireframing at work. I started learning as much as I could, and I accepted the role that I have now. And I continued. Continued my education for all of 2 years. When I was working at that software company, I studied about 4 hours every day, and then on the weekends about 12. How long have April and I known each other? Pretty much the entire time we've been dating, which is over 6 years. She couldn't help herself. She needed this hotness in her life. Oh, baby.
Just get the record straight. You DM'd me.
I'll admit it. I slid into the DMs.
Okay.
Do I make money off YouTube with 19,000 subs? I do indeed. In a good month, I will make $1,200 with sponsorships, sponsored videos, mentoring, tutoring. In a bad month, I will make around 600. Or in an average month, I should say. In an average month, I make around 600 between the sponsorships and the mentoring. My YouTube revenue is roughly $350 a month. I will be going into all my analytics in my two-year video. I did it year one, so I can look. I'll show you some highlights from that video. That's still on my channel if you want to see what a YouTube channel 1 year in makes, a coding channel. The biggest asset that my channel has given me is the means to become a developer. I've learned a lot. It's made me an interesting candidate, and it made me a better developer. So one of the things I preach for those of you who are having trouble getting resume experience is good communication, being an interesting candidate, be somebody that they want to work with. You don't just have to have the skills. Everyone there is going to have the skills. You need to be different. You need to be something else. So how do you get your sponsorships? Do they reach out to you, or you to them, or them to you? Both. It just depends. There are sites such as FameBit where I've gotten sponsorships, and there are companies I've reached out to in the past that I have asked, saying, hey, would you be interested in this? This is what I'm offering. This is what I'm trying to get for a monthly sponsorship, or for a banner ad, or for a channel page ad. And there's also the YouTube Patreon page, which helps pay for basically my channel costs. That'd be the website. That would be for the Adobe subscription, and that's really appreciated. But yeah, that's a little bit about it.
What did you do during your 4 hours of study?
Free code camp, tutorials, online tutorials, Codecademy. I built projects, everything I could that I knew how to, and that was the hardest part, is not knowing what to do. But I appreciate everybody showing up. I actually have to go. I'll answer one last question because it's a good one. Have you tried again to get that sponsorship with Varianto again? I was sponsored by Varianto. I don't think it'd be appropriate for me to ask for a sponsorship when I plan on starting my own coding developer store. So that's what I'll say about that. I think it'd be inappropriate. But thank you guys for watching. You got to see a little bit of just real life frustration in coding, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a good experience because it's probably building up more than anything else. Sometimes you gotta let it out. So don't forget to join our Facebook page, Code Tech and Caffeine, to stay up to date. I think being part of meetups and being part of the coding community is great.
Thank you.
Of course, happy birthday to my wonderful girlfriend. And we will see you guys tomorrow. We're only in day 20. We got 80 more days of this. It has been a pleasure. Thank you to all of our Twitch members. And I didn't know that Ethan and Gila had their own icon. Very cool H3H3 icon. Anyhow, guys, I appreciate you all. Would you like to let us out with your wonderful exiting comment?
Code long and prosper.
Good stuff, baby. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.